We are going to start naturally with the shutdown of the Inter-Korean Kaesong Industrial Complex. All 280 South Koreans inside the industrial park were safely taken out and back in South Korea following North Korea's unilateral orders for them to leave ASAP. The area has been designated a military control zone now by the North Koreans, and the Inter-Korean military hotline is also cut off, so tension is pretty high. For the latest, we connect to our Unification Ministry correspondent Connie Kim, who's standing by for us at the ministry. So, Connie, are we getting any details about what kind of support the companies operating at Kaesong might be getting off the South Korean government?
Well, Mark, the Unification Ministry just made the announcement about half an hour ago. It was also led by Suk-joon, head of government policy coordination at the Prime Minister's office. Now, South Korea says it'll try its best to provide a swift and sufficient support for the 123 companies that have operated in the complex. Now, some of the support measures include extending the loan repayment period they received from the Fund for the Cooperation between North and South Korea. Seoul will also start the process of giving out insurance and push back the time period companies have to pay their utility bills, including electricity fees. Also, a one-on-one hotline will be established for the companies to provide needed support ASAP.
Well, it's good to hear that there are some support measures already coming out, even though the expulsion only happened late Thursday afternoon, South Korea time. In regards to the response measures from Seoul, from the South Korean government itself, following North Korea's abrupt shutdown of the complex, what are we hearing there?
Right. Well, Seoul has cut off the electricity supply to the Inter-Korean Kaesong Industrial Complex. Now, this is a first response measure to Pyongyang freezing all South Korean assets in there. Seoul's strongest measure was to have all 280 South Koreans return to the South safely in the late hours on Thursday. Now, this is the first time Seoul has cut all electricity at the park. Even back in 2013, when the North withdrew all its workers, Seoul provided a tenth of the electricity usually provided. And it's important to note that if electricity is cut out, water will also be cut off, making it impossible for Pyongyang to operate facilities there. The Kaesong complex had remained somewhat immune to the turbulence of inter-Korean ties, but that doesn't seem to be the case any longer, as there are already concerns that the last vestige of South-North economic cooperation will close down permanently.
It's certainly a concern. And Connie, all inter-Korean exchanges are expected to come to a complete halt as well. Tell us what projects are at risk.
Right, Mark. Well, the first project at risk of being scrapped is the Dajin Hasan project that the government invested back in 2013. Now, this project is aimed to deliver Russian coal from the Russian train station of Hasan to North Korea's Dajin via a 54-kilometer railway, after which a Chinese bulk carrier was set to ship them to South Korea's southeastern port of Pohang. South Korea was set to pay North Korea for access to the port, but since this is another means for Pyongyang to earn cash, now this project seems highly unlikely to be completed. And civilian inter-Korean exchanges are not expected to resume anytime soon. The inter-Korean excavation project at the ancient historical site at Manoldae Palace in Kaesong during the Goryeo Dynasty has been halted, along with a project to create a unified Korean language dictionary. There are concerns that inter-Korean ties have regressed to the same state as when the inter-Korean hotline was first established 44 years ago. Well, this is all I have for now, Mark. Reporting live from the Unification Ministry, this has been Connie Kim.